Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh, honey, though our friendship ceases from now on.
Hello! So, today I'm going to be trying my best to be making a new cover for this futon that I have right behind me. I just recently purchased it from futonbedfromjapan.com, which I think is a great website. I haven't really slept on it yet. I've only really fluffed it up and everything in preparation for sleeping on it tonight, which is why I am going to try to make my own cover for it. I got the quilt that matches the bed, and I wanted to purchase something really cute for it, but I don't really have the money considering I just bought all this and the financial crisis that we're all in. So I'm hoping that I can do it because I'm watching a bunch of instructional videos on how to make your own duvet cover and all these things, and they're very simple, but I don't quite understand them. So I'm just gonna wing it and let's see how that goes. So on the website, it says how big the futon is, but I was just measuring to make sure. I have them here on my tatami mats in the room, which is great. I'm so lucky to be able to have these. And the measurement does match. It says that it's 59 by, I believe, 79 inches for the futon. Yeah, I think that's right. 59 by 79. Yeah. I'm gonna add around an inch, maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches, just for seam allowance. And if anything goes wrong, I don't really trust myself. So I'll see as much as I can leave on, and yeah. Okay, so besides the futon, I also have the matching quilt. So I definitely wanted a matching cover for that as well. It is larger, and I believe it's a perfect square, around 79 inches by 79 inches, so I'm hoping that I have enough fabric for that. I do think that I do because I got 4 flat sheets. They're not exactly what I wanted, but it's all I can afford right now, and they're definitely going to get quite some use. And if anything goes wrong, I can always replace them in the future when that happens. Right now, there's nothing to worry about except making this cover all by tonight. Alright, so for my idea of what I'm going to be doing for the duvet, it's very simple. Here are my flat sheets. They just came out of the wash. Had to wash them before I use them. I have this like rosier pink and then this very soft pastel like baby pink. And my idea was that, so for the futon and the quilt, there is a bottom and a top. So for the bottom of each, I'm gonna have the darker pink. That way I know that it's the bottom, and I don't know, be cozier, multicolored, and nice. I wanted to put some more designs on it, like maybe a pattern, or in the future I'm thinking of putting like a little patch on it that I make myself or that I find somewhere, I'm not sure. But at the moment, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm gonna have this color on the bottom, this color on the top, and then with a white sheet, I'm hoping that I can make ruffles to put on the sides. I just think that would brighten it up a little bit, make it a little cuter, but also still simple. So let's measure everything out. So after all the trouble it took to lay these out on top of each other, I have to do this twice, but we laid out the first pair, and I have the measurements here on my phone for the top and bottom. I'm going to start with the biggest part, which is the quilt, and that's 78 3/4 inches by 78 3/4 inches. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do probably like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches more than that, which will be, let's say it's 79, so it'll be 80, 81. All right, we'll just see how much we have. and work with what we got. So I just remembered that at the end of a duvet, and basically I'm making 2 duvet covers for the quilt and the futon, that I'm going to need just a little bit extra fabric, a little bit more fabric at the very end so I can make a little flap where the buttons go. So I'm probably going to add like an extra 2 to 4 inches. I'm not sure, maybe 4, and then when I fold it in half it'll be 2. Yeah, that sounds about right. We'll see. If anything, I can trim it off. It's better that I have more than less. So let me get to it. So I've cut quite a bit of fabric now. I've cut the top and bottom pieces for both the futon and the quilt, and I've also cut 4 panel pieces for hopefully the ruffles that will go all the way around the quilt. So now I'm just going to put a base stitch on these to hold them all together, and then hopefully install my ruffle foot, and then I'll update you from there. Okay, so you can probably tell that it is not the same day. I had finals week last week, so I wasn't able to work on everything, but where I left off, I believe I was finishing the ruffles. So those did not get finished because I thought I was going to be able to make a formula, even though I'm not good at math, on how to put the right amount of fabric on each side, and that obviously didn't work out. So I came up with a new way that is way easier, no math involved, I think. Well, okay, a little math involved. So basically, I took some sheets that I had that were not being used. I cut equal strips, multiple, and I just sewed them all together. I sewed them in half, did a little stitch here to make sure that it didn't bubble up, and then another one here to keep it solid. Here you can see I started ruffling it by hand, even though I have a ruffle foot, but my machine just can't handle this much fabric. So it's gonna take me a while, and I might have to do it by hand, but it'll be worth it, so it's okay. Anyways, my new plan is that I'm laying out all the fabric that I need. As you can see, it's right behind me, for the duvet cover. And then I did the math, and let me get my phone. So as you can see, I laid out all of the fabric that I'll be needing for my duvet cover, and all of this fabric here is 413.5 inches long. I only need ruffles on 3 sides, so I divide by 3, and that is 137.8. So let's just say 138 inches per side. So I'm just gonna pin that much fabric to each side of my duvet sheet, and then I'll ruffle until it's the perfect length. Then I'll stitch that, and you'll see the whole process as I go. So let's start. I believe last I filmed, I was in the process of putting everything together. I had the ruffles made, I had the sheets cut, I had everything ready to just sew together, so I wasn't able to film that, but it was a very simple process. I just laid them on top of each other, right sides facing, and then I put the ruffle in between, facing the middle of the sheet. That way when I put it inside out, it would be facing out. I just did one straight line, like a basic stitch, all the way around. I made sure to leave the opening, the bottom open, so I could put buttonholes later and buttons. They were very cute. Here, I'll show you. So here is the end of the bed. I made sure to put the ruffles all the way around the edge, except for the top. That way it wouldn't knock us in the face while we slept. But here, the ruffles kind of conceal that there are buttons underneath. And I think that was very smart of me, and I'm very happy that I did that. The buttons you can't see, but they do just slip into these little buttonholes right here. Very secretive. This is the last installment, I promise, for this video. I have finally completed the sheets, and I've got to say that they're pretty good. I've never sewn anything, especially so large, but specifically I've never sewn bedding or anything that wasn't, I guess, clothes related. Oh, that's not true. I've never sewn something like this. So I'm very proud. I've never made ruffles by hand ever. I've never made buttonholes or sewn buttons not by hand. I am so extremely impressed with myself. I learned so many things, and honestly I saved so much money considering I could only get the covers for this futon from the website that I bought it from, or from other futon websites, which was way pricier than I could afford right now. And I love these. I love these way more than the ones that they had on their website. So I'm very excited to show you it right now. I am with my kitties, as you can tell. They are going to help me demonstrate the beautifulness and comfort that this sheet brings them. Let's look. When I flipped it right side out, I guess you'd say, because it was inside out before, I made sure to do like a top stitch all the way around, and that really is what made it. Before, it looked nice. It looked okay. It still does look handmade, but it just adds so much more of like a clean, complete feeling on the edge of the bed. So, as you can see here, although the ruffles aren't the nicest, they're nice against the edge, but then they kind of flare out. I kind of like that. I kind of like that they're a little, they do whatever they want. It gives him more personality. It seems like he's having fun. And then here, you can't see it, but I did a white little top stitch, and it just, like, the bed just feels more made. It feels like it can last longer, it feels more durable, and when I put in the quilt, it doesn't feel like, oh no, I'm gonna bust a seam, because I do not have a machine, I don't have a serger, which isn't necessary, but I don't have a serger which would make me feel the most secure in my product, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that really changed it up for me. As you can see, I did do this darker color underneath and then the lighter one over the top. So when you look at the bed as a whole, it does look like it's just this pastel pink, which I don't mind because that is my favorite color. But I wanted to add some warmth because when I'm sleeping, I know it doesn't make sense, but I want to feel a little cocooned. So what makes me feel most like loved and sweet is multiple shades of pink, and this one, it just did it for me. I love it. I think it's so cute. I still get this pink here that gets to go over the top of me, and I feel like, oh, so sweet. But then I'm still laying on that nice pastel pink below it, so it still feels cool and refreshing, and my boyfriend doesn't get very stressed out by it, which is very important. Sadly, my cat's fur is all over the bed. It is honestly insane how much cat hair there is, and I only put it on the bed last night, so that sucks. But it comes with the territory, and they're just sweet little angels, so I can't fault them for it. They're not doing it on purpose. It just isn't the best for the video, but I don't mind it. so I hope you don't mind it either. So, I thought it would be fun if I showed you all how I make my bed. Honestly, I could have made it a little less difficult, but it's already made, so it's fine. And honestly, I like putting my bed together. It is a little bit of a workout sometimes, especially when I'm really sleepy, but I don't mind it. I love it, so it's worth it every single time. So that probably took around, I'd say, 3 minutes, maybe 2, I don't know. I'm by myself doing this, so it's definitely taking longer, but it's really not that long at all. Now I'm gonna put the comforter sheet on, and well, you'll see. I suppose the last thing that I always do with my bed is, well, I guess the first thing in the morning is that I put the bed away. So I thought I'd film that as well. It's very quick and it looks really pretty in the room and leaves so much space. So let's get to it. Anywho, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and I hope you'll watch my next video very soon. Bye!